This is the Ford Boss 302 rear sway bar with the included end links and bushings, and it would be a great replacement or upgrade for all 2005 to 2014 Mustangs at home. Now this bar will combine OE quality steel build here along with a 25mm diameter, and of course the brand new bushings and end links, all for right around that low $200 price point. So big features here is the fact that you are adding one of the more vital suspension components from the almighty S197 Boss 302. Now depending on your current ride, this might be a rather small or rather a large upgrade for your S197. For instance, early V6 convertibles had a 18mm bar, whereas the later S197 GTs had a 24mm bar. So as you can see, the upgrade in size is going to vary depending on what you're starting out with. Now this option from Ford is going to feature that 25mm diameter, which again will help reduce the rear end roll and keep the rear of the car a little bit more planted mid-corner and corner exit. Construction, as you might imagine, is going to be extremely solid here, as this is a factory produced part. Now speaking of solid, this does include the solid cold form steel bar with again that 25mm diameter. Now the bar itself does also include brand new rubber bushings and brand new end links here, making this a turnkey replacement or upgrade for any S197 Mustang at home. Finally, the bar is backed by a 12-month or 12,000-mile warranty, just in case you run into any issues. Price point for the rear Boss 302 sway bar will come in around that low $200 mark, making this one of the more affordable rear bars currently on the site, especially when you consider the fact that this option does include the extras like the fresh bushings and end links. Other bars on the site will be a little bit more expensive by themselves without getting brand new hardware, so that is certainly something to factor in. All right, last but not least, let's touch on the install, and the site's going to call this a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you at least 30 minutes under the car to wrap up from start to finish. And now to give you a better idea of what to expect in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun and a 15mm socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a rear sway bar on our Mustang, so let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is come underneath the rotor and remove our 2 nuts here. Grab a 15mm socket, pop these off, and then we can remove this bracket. And just wiggle off your bracket. And do that same thing on the other side. Next we're going to take that same 15mm socket and remove the bolt holding our end link to the frame. Now I'm just going to get that nut off on the other side. I'm going to leave the bolt in there until I do the same thing on the other side, and then we just got to pop both of our bolts out and remove our sway bar. So that nut fell out. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll pop these bolts out. So now we just need to pull those 2 bolts out and remove our sway bar. Now we can take our new sway bar, and I'm going to get that bolt into our end link first. And I'm just going to swing this up to get the bushing into our mounts at the bottom here. And then we can grab those brackets and our nuts, tighten that one down. Next we'll get our bracket and nuts back on. Now you might have to do a little bit of adjusting of your bushing to get it centered. And then once it's nice and centered up, push that bracket on and thread on your nuts. And then take your 15mm socket for your 2 nuts. I'm going to go back and forth here just to tighten that down evenly. And then do that same thing on the other side. And then take that nut, get it on the back of your end link bolt, thread it in, and then tighten it down with your 15mm socket and repeat on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Ford Boss 302 rear sway bar with end links for your 2005 to 14 Mustang. Thank you for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.